Hello, my friends. Today we are in Kentucky at the Woodford Reserve Distillery. I am so excited to be here, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here today and talk about one of the most iconic bourbon distilleries in the world, the Woodford Reserve. It is located in Versailles, Kentucky, or Versailles, Kentucky, in the scenic bluegrass region in a very charming area. As many of you know, Kentucky is renowned for bourbon, and Woodford Reserve is one of its crown jewels. The distillery not only produces some of the finest bourbon in the world, but it also holds a rich history dating back over 2 centuries to 1812. The story of Woodford Reserve begins at a site that has been synonymous with bourbon production for generations. In 1812, this distillery is one of the oldest here in Kentucky. Though it wasn't always known as the Woodford Reserve, the legacy of distilling on this land has persisted through numerous owners and name changes over the years. They have a beautiful gift shop, and they give great tours. One of the most notable figures in the distillery's early days was Elijah Pepper. They have stories where you can read about him. He is one of the pioneers of bourbon making. He founded the original distillery, which was then called the Old Oscar Pepper Distillery. Under his son Oscar and his talented distiller James Crow. The distillery earned a reputation for producing high-quality whiskey. Crow is actually credited with developing crucial techniques that laid the groundwork for the bourbon that we have today, including using sour mash fermentation as the process for making the bourbon. In the decades that followed, the distillery continued to evolve. The site was sold several times, but its reputation for excellence never changed. In 1996, the brand we know today, Woodford Reserve, was born under the ownership of Brown-Forman, one of the largest American-owned spirit companies that preserved the integrity of the historical roots and incorporated modern technology to ensure premium bourbon production. One of the exciting things I found was how the barrels are moved and rotated and moved from one building to the next on conveyor belts. Very, very cool to watch. What makes Woodford Reserve unique is not only its history, but the process that it creates the bourbon. Unlike other distilleries, Woodford uses traditional copper pot stills, very cool to see, and a triple distillation process. The bourbon is aged in limestone warehouses, where the bourbon is cooled in the natural climate, and the Kentucky River is actually used to help make its flavor profile. It's the combination of tradition and technology that makes Woodford Reserve stand out in a crowd. If you ever find yourself in Versailles, visiting Woodford Reserve is an absolute have to do. The distillery offers several tours, each designed to immerse you in the rich history, craftsmanship, and flavors of Woodford Reserve bourbon. Allow me to take you on a quick overview of what you can expect. The standard distillery tour is a great introduction, for anyone who is new to how bourbon is made, and of course also to the enthusiast. It starts with a guided exploration of the distillery grounds, where you'll see firsthand the historic stone buildings and scenic views all around the property. Your guide will take you through the entire process of making the bourbon from grain to glass. You'll see the fermentation, tanks, the beautiful copper pots, the stills, the barrel aging process, the limestone warehouses, and of course the way that they mechanize it to move those casks around. You'll get a sense of the craftsmanship that goes into every bottle, along with a deeper appreciation of how they make all the different flavors. And for those of you who want a more in-depth tour, they do have the Corn to Cork tour with a behind-the-scenes look at the entire bourbon making process. And the tour covers everything on how the grains are sourced to how the barrels are constructed, filled, and stored. So that is a very exciting tour to take. It also offers a very special tasting of some of the more exclusive offerings. The National Landmark Tour is an ideal choice. The tour focuses heavily on the history of the property and bourbon's role in shaping Kentucky, Kentucky's economy, and Kentucky's culture. You'll hear stories of the people who shaped Woodford Reserve's legacy from Elijah Pepper and James Crow, and get a greater understanding of how they became an integral part of our history here in the United States. The history is in these buildings as well. You're going to love the old stone structures that have been here since the early 1800s. And of course, there are tasting experiences. No tour of Woodford Reserve would be complete without tasting it. Visitors are treated to a variety of flavors, getting the complexity and the balance of what Woodford Reserve has to offer. Of course, all this is available in the gift shop as well. But of course, with each sip, you'll notice rich notes, either vanilla, caramel, fruit, spice, oak, to make distinctive, different Woodford Reserves. They also have the 5 sources of flavor, which include grain, water, fermentation, distillation, and maturation. So I think you're really going to love taking a tour at the Woodford Reserve. And remember, the Woodford Reserve aims to create a well-balanced, complex bourbon that is very, very enjoyable, yet, if you will, sophisticated. Every sip, you'll get a different flavor, and if you take it slow, you will enjoy and realize it's one of the finest in the world. And again, no trip here is complete without taking home a bag or two of the goodies inside of the store, so make sure you visit there. Here you can see the barrels going from one warehouse to the next. And Woodford Reserve Distillery is much more than a place where bourbon is made. It's a living testament to Kentucky's rich distilling heritage and a beacon of craftsmanship to the world of booze. Whether you're a bourbon drinker or someone new to the world of whiskey, a visit to Woodford Reserve is an experience that you're going to love. It's full of insight on the bourbon, the history, and the culture around the creation of the bourbon. And as you leave the distillery, you'll walk away not only with an appreciation of the detailed work that goes into it, but a better understanding of the people, places, and history that make Kentucky what they are. So next time you get in the area, have the opportunity to come to Versailles, make sure you stop in. It is a lovely place to visit. It's a wonderful tour to take. I highly recommend. And my friend, anytime you can get out into the country, see something new, it is well worth your time. And I do hope you've enjoyed this tour of the Woodford Reserve store, and that you will take a chance to come here yourself, give me a thumbs up. And if you've enjoyed this, I hope you subscribe to my channel. I want you here. We are traveling, my friends. We are traveling. Have a great day.